Are you looking for an athletic scholarship? You're in the right place. This is the Recruit Me Athletic Scholarship Podcast, the longest-running podcast on recruiting and athletic scholarships. We're here to help your family navigate the recruiting road all the way to an athletic scholarship. He's a recruiting expert and a dad of 2 college athletes. He has a wealth of experience to share. Here's Recruit Me CEO, Brent Hanks.
Welcome to episode 480 of the Athletic Scholarship Podcast. The Athletic Scholarship Podcast is the world's longest-running recruiting education podcast with weekly 15-minute episodes. I'm the current host of the Athletic Scholarship Podcast and the owner and CEO of Recruit Me LLC, an athletic recruiting education business. Recruit Me has one of its main goals of providing as many free and inexpensive resources for student athletes and their families. I have owned Recruit Me since June of 2020. John Fugler, Recruit Me's founder, started educating student athletes back in 2002 and started the Athletic Scholarship Podcast in October of 2015. This year I've reached back into past the Athletic Scholarship Podcast episodes, some published by John and some by me. Today I'm going to replay most of John Fugler's episode number 39 from August of 2017. The episode was named Recruiting Lies That Can Cost You an Athletic Scholarship. The show notes stated, if you act on things that are actually misleading, you'll be disappointed, and you'll lose time and money getting back in the game. Listen as John shares 5 of the biggest lies that can trap you. He'll address the lies, followed by truths. Act on truth and you've got a bright future. The 5 lies John covers in this episode eventually become part of the 10 myths about athletic scholarships that are listed in the Recruit Me 3.0 athletic scholarship system. Even though this episode was presented back in 2017, John's 5 lies are still relevant today in 2025. Let's go back in time and dial up John Fugler's episode number 39.
Recruiting lies that can cost you an athletic scholarship. This is the Athletic Scholarship Podcast, episode number 39. Hello and welcome to episode 39 of the Athletic Scholarship Podcast. I'm John Fugler, athletic scholarship coach with a cold. But you got to get out in the field even if you don't feel well. I'm going to compete. I'm going to do my 15 minutes and I'm going to do it well, 100%. Even if my voice cracks every once in a while through this. Let me start this episode with a story because it's something that's fresh on my mind, top of mind here. I ordered something in the last couple days. And it wasn't what I thought it would be. So have you ever done that where you order something, especially online, picture looks great, but it arrives and you go, this isn't it. This is not, it's not the right size. I mean, it looks so big in the picture, but it's not right. Or you go to a restaurant and you order something off the menu and the picture menus looks great. It shows up and you look at it and you go, this isn't the same thing. And then you taste it and you go, this is definitely not what I saw in the picture. It doesn't even taste like it, however that could be. But this happened to me. I ordered something and for a certain price, and it was a service online. And so I ordered this for a price, and then the vendor came back, the seller, and raised the price. I mean, not by a little, but by 20 times, over 20 times the original advertised price. And I felt kind of deceived. I still haven't decided what I'm going to do about this. I canceled the order, but now I'm wondering about the platform that this vendor is using and whether I should even use this platform again. I'm just really confused. So I gotta seek some advice and seek some counsel in that. I tell you that story because in this episode, I want to share with you 5 recruiting lies. So if you feel like you've been deceived and things just aren't as you expected them to be in the recruiting thing, down one road or another, one experience or another, maybe I can help you out. And if you have not experienced that, then hopefully going through these things will help shed some light on what might be offered in the future, what it might appear to be in this recruiting road ahead, but it's not the truth. It's what I call a lie, just to plain and simple put it that way to you. And I hope that through this, you'll be able to gain some knowledge And knowledge is power. It is strength that will help you go through the recruiting process, whether you're the parent or the athlete, and do it based on truth, not lies. And hopefully these red flags will help you out. I want to talk about some bad news here and turn it around for you. So recruiting lies, the first one is this for parents. My son and daughter, if my son or daughter is good enough, the college coaches will find him or will find her. I mean, isn't that the way it works? They are just combing the country looking for talented athletes, which is true in some cases. Most coaches only have a budget to look regionally, and if it's nationally, it's they've got to do it online or hear from a referral, that type of thing. But the lie is that if my son or daughter is good enough, the college coaches will find him or find her. But really, when coaches comb the country, they're looking for the top, very top athlete. A very small percentage of high school student athletes receive scholarships because the coach happened to find him or find her. Only those top-line elite athletes receive enough national media recognition that they're automatically recruited without having to make an effort. I mean, and those stories are all over the place, and they appear to be the norm. And that's not the norm. The norm is not that. That's a recruiting lie. The other 99% plus, and that's where our twin sons were, have to take the initiative. I say that again, have to take the initiative to contact the schools where you have an interest. You got to start. Coaches expect you to do that. They don't look down on families that approach them, that market themselves to the coaches. They don't look down. They invite that. Most schools' recruiting budgets are limited, as I mentioned, and coaches rely on you to contact them first. That's the way most scholarships happen. They don't have the time or budget to travel around the country to see student athletes compete. They have to be very selective. So videos, stats, references, and things like that become key tools for the coach in recruiting and evaluating. So everything that I have been teaching families over the years start with that. The fact that you got to take the initiative, that you've got to contact the schools. And parents, you might think it's too self-promoting to make that contact and to market your child. But as I said, the coaches expect that. That is the norm. Because if you don't do it, athletes, if you don't do it, parents, other student athletes will get the scholarship because they did it. Their parents and athletes worked together as teams, and they made the effort and then received the attention. So I hit that one hard because that is foundational in the whole recruiting process. Here's another recruiting lie. Recruiting lie number 2 is this. Talk about truth and lies. I can trust everything the college coaches say and promise during the recruiting process. You may already have found out that this is quite a confusing world, and you don't really understand where the coaches are coming from. Maybe they're not communicating clearly to you. And there's this mystery on the other side. It's like this veil. And you wonder what is really behind that. What's on the other side of the door? The coaches are telling me things, but I'm not sure what to believe and what not to believe. Or I go into it and, we believe everything, but we're not quite sure. It's just confusing. Coaches realize that not all recruits will choose their program. I mean, that's obvious, right? So they have to over-recruit. I think of the airlines that are, it's in the news these days, they're overbooking their seats, and they're getting in trouble now. They've been doing this for years. I mean, this isn't anything new. It's been going on for years and years, decades. But now this whole overbooking thing is in the news. Same thing happens with coaches as they recruit. They talk to more prospects than they have spots for, and that's the way it goes. I mean, it's got to go that way. You're talking with more coaches. I hope you are. You're pursuing more programs, and you're going to choose one. Well, some coaches have a tendency to overpromise and overstate too. And the reality, once you enroll, is not always what was presented in an attempt to recruit you. So you need to be sharp. You need to ask the tough questions of coaches. You need to get down to the truth. Most coaches love having you have an honest conversation with them because they also want to know the truth from you if you are sincerely interested in their program or not. They don't want to waste their time. So have honest conversations with coaches. Be careful. Just be careful. Ask questions. Try to get to know the coach's character, his reputation. Check into the coach by talking with friends who may know him or her and find out about that coach's reputation. If you can, talk with current athletes on the team to get their take. You want to find out what it's going to be like on the other side if you end up at that school. So not just over recruiting is the problem, but just downright telling you the truth of what that program is like. Third, recruiting. Just have about 4.5 minutes to go here, so I got to squeeze these in. Recruiting lie number 3. My high school coach or my guidance counselor will get me a scholarship. Well, the truth is few high school coaches or counselors have either the time, the knowledge, the expertise to take charge of your recruiting. This is your responsibility. It's not their responsibility. They might have a few contacts at colleges where they can promote their exceptional athletes. Our kid's high school baseball coach had 2 or 3 contacts. It was wonderful because he did contact them, and I believe 1 or 2 of them responded, and we had some conversation there. But it is rare that there is a high school coach that goes to bat for all their potential scholarship athletes. Some of them do that, and if you've got a coach that does that, man, that is awesome. That's awesome. And if that coach has a good reputation among college coaches for who they send their way, then you're in a blessed situation. But as a rule, don't rely on your high school coach or guidance counselor to get you a scholarship. Recruiting lie number 4, I have to be the best player on my team to get any athletic financial aid. If you've heard any of my messages or read any of my materials in the past, that is a lie. If you're not a national superstar already being recruited, an accomplished, talented athlete has a great chance of being recruited. You don't have to be that national superstar. You just have to be that accomplished, talented athlete. You got to be able to compete at the next level, whether it be D1, D2, or D3. It won't just happen, though. As I mentioned, you've got to take the initiative, and that's what we did with our sons. They weren't the national superstars. They weren't even the state superstars. They were talented, accomplished athletes, and that is what got them the attention of coaches, and that's what eventually led to the athletic scholarships. Most athletes who don't reach that elite status, that blue chip status, get lost in the recruiting process unless they market themselves, as I mentioned earlier, and colleges rarely have the budget for massive recruiting and scouting efforts. So if a college doesn't know you exist, they can't recruit you, but you don't have to be the best player on your team to get any athletic financial aid. And finally, recruiting lie number 5. I already received a letter or email from a coach, so I am being recruited. Well, the truth is coaches send out hundreds of letters and emails to athletes they know little about. Chances are that there are hundreds of student athletes receiving that exact same letter that you did. It goes back to what I said earlier about over-recruiting. They have to over-recruit. And coaches don't know who's interested. So once they find out who is interested, they can begin the recruiting dialogue. You're being recruited when that dialogue begins, when a sincere interest in you begins and is happening. So don't just take the email or the letter as being recruited and just relax and say, okay, and I'm going to get some more. We're going to get more coaches are going to contact me. More coaches are going to contact my son or daughter. It doesn't happen that way. So don't. It's quite common for athletes to brag about the fact that, hey, yeah, I got so-and-so school is after me. I got my letter yesterday. I got the email yesterday. Well, that's don't fall for that lie. Hey, hope those help in this episode. They help you get centered. Help you think through some of these things. If you've already experienced any of these 5 things I talked about, then you know that I am telling the truth, and I would just want to set you in the right direction. Hopefully that helps.
Thanks to John, you will not be detracted by these commonly thought of lies or myths about recruiting. Let Recruit Me and the Athletic Scholarship Podcast educate you and help guide you through your DIY recruiting journey. Please go to the recruit-me.com website and take advantage of the free The Athletic Scholarship Podcast, the free Recruit Me Power Pack, and the free Recruit Me monthly newsletter. And then check out the inexpensive $39 Recruit Me Athletic Scholarship System. Thank you for listening to the Athletic Scholarship Podcast, and join me next week for another 15 minutes that will change your athletic scholarship future.